Oh no, I totally get it, Dave. That's fine. No, I knew you had to do it. I kind of expected it. Yeah, no problem. Enjoy the ranch tonight. We'll talk later. Okay. Oh, hey guys. That was Dave Castro. Of course, from the video before, you saw I figured out what the real workout was supposed to be tonight, and Dave was in all panic mode. He was texting me, like, why did you decipher my code and all this? And he was all upset, and he just apologized for that. And anyway, he threw up together this workout, which is a good one. It's not 17.4 that I thought it was going to be, but it's pretty close. Same type of movements: deadlifts, handstand push-ups. So basically, this is a repeat from 18. So let's just get into the workout. We'll bring it up on the big screen here. Okay, so here we have. So workout 20.3 is 21 deadlifts. We have, 21 handstand push-ups. And you go to 15 deadlifts, 15 handstand push-ups, 9 deadlifts, 9 handstand push-ups. And then you go into, that was basically Diane. And then you come into 21 deadlifts and the weight gets higher. 315 there for the men. Then you go 50 handstand walk. It will be 2 lengths of 25, so you go around the end, turn around, come back. 15 deadlifts at 315 as well. The same thing, 50 feet handstand walk, 9 deadlifts, 50 feet handstand walk with a 9-minute time cap. And I'll get into the standards, but if there's a tiebreaker, so if you don't finish in the 9 minutes, there's a tiebreaker that you have to use. So we'll get into that. So where we got the scorecards. This is the scorecard. The link will be down below for this scorecard. And it basically sets out all the workout variations. So this is 20.3 RX, men and women here at the top. And then you go into the different scaled versions. Basically, for the scaled, you have a lower weight. And then you're doing hand release push-ups. And then instead of the handstand walk, you're doing a bear crawl, which is actually kind of hard to judge because it's just whatever. And then you have the different ones for teenage masters 55 plus. So down the bottom here talks about the tiebreaker. Basically, the tiebreaker is going to be the judge, which I'll show you on the scorecard, will record the time that the athlete finishes each set of deadlifts. So say you finish your set of deadlifts and you're into the handstand walks and you only get 20 feet. The tiebreaker is that when you finish that that deadlift. So the judge, each time you finish a deadlift, will mark down the score. And then this one is going to be a little setup required. You can use 2 weights. So you can have the bar, the lighter bar, and then the heavier bar if you want. Or you can have 1 bar and an assistant is allowed to this one touch the weight and put the weight on for you. We'll go through the standards. So basically equipment, a barbell, standard bumper plates, all that good stuff. And now the deadlift. So the deadlift starts with the weight on the ground. Hands must be outside the knee, so you can't do a sumo deadlift with a narrow grip. And the arms must be straight throughout. So this is where it kind of eliminates the bouncing. Because a lot of athletes, when they'll bounce, obviously they'll bend their elbows and throw it down. So you can't bounce the weight off the ground. The rep is credited when the hips, knees are in full extension, the head and shoulders are behind the bar. A lot of times when you see athletes that are kind of cut this kind of short, they're not fully bringing the hips to extend, or in the legs to extension, and their head will be a little bit over the bar as well. Collars must be placed on the outside of the plates. That's the deadlift. The thing to watch for this as a judge will be those hips coming through. At the start, I was watching James Newberry, and he was very close. He cleaned it up a little better at the end, but they don't fully unhinge. There's still a little bit, and I think was it Josh Bridges? I think they got a major penalty one time. I think it was 4 years ago or 3 years ago for not bringing his hips fully through. So then we'll go down to the setup. This will be the main crux of the whole movement. So the handstand push-ups with that infamous line that you have to place a tape or marker. So you can see they're measuring China Cho there. So she will stand against the wall. Obviously her heels touching the wall. Her feet no farther than shoulder, lip, or is it shoulder or hip width apart? Because you can't obviously stand with a super wide stance, then obviously your head will be lower. Then the judge will come up and mark a line with their head looking forward, mark a line against the wall. So then the athlete will put their elbow against the wall. You can see in the picture over here, number 2. And the judge will measure up to the knuckle. So you can see she has a fist, and the judge will measure up to the top knuckle there. So let's say that is 14 inches. So you take that 14 inches, divide it in half, so you had 7 inches, and then you add that onto the first measurement you put. So you have the measurement, the tape here at the top of their head, and then you would add half of the elbow to knuckle. In our case, in the example they have there is 7 inches. So there'll be 7 inches up there. You put a piece of tape, a line, a marker, chalk, whatever, and that's where the athlete's heels have to come past. So that is the line to do the handstand push-ups. Now there was an argument, I think you remember, Jacob Hepner had a little while back about he had different size. His forearms are longer than the normal person. But this is the standard. This is what we have to go by, and this is what the judges have to enforce. If you saw in the open announcement video, the athletes were getting a lot of no reps, so this would be very common in this. The other thing you have to watch for in doing, so that's the setup, and then we'll go down here for when they're doing the handstand push-ups. So you begin with your arms locked out, heels in contact with the wall, hips are open, and the body in the line with the arms. Heels must be above the pre-marked line, so that's the start of your rep. And the heels are the only thing touching. So I think Brooke Wells was really famous for when she does her handstand push-ups. A lot of times her midsection collapses and her butt will touch the wall. That is a no rep, so you have to watch for that. The rep is credited upon return to the starting position. So the athlete comes down, their head touches the ground, and back up. At the bottom, obviously the head must make contact with the ground. If you're using different surfaces, so a lot of people will put their hands on plates. The plates and the mat in between that you choose to use have to be level, because you could get an advantage if it was higher there. Obviously your head wouldn't drop as hard. And people use the mats to obviously protect their head. You are allowed to do kipping. These aren't strict, so you can kip. So obviously the head comes down, extend up, and the heels go above the line. So the athletes will have to remember almost to point their toes towards the ground and get their heels up there. So then you move into the handstand walk. That would be the next thing to judge. So the judge or the coach or everybody at the gym has to set up this course. Should be 25 feet long. It can't be any longer than 25 feet because they have to turn around. 5-foot increments. And you mark that out just like in the video here. So the athlete has to get past a line and they can kick down at that point and they just go back to that line. So they go ahead, they stop at 25. I guess they could choose to turn around and come right back if they wanted to. It makes sense to have a quick little rest, then do your 25. And each one of those lines count as a rep. So that's it for the handstand walk. You can see kick up, both hands. You can't have your hand in the line there when you're kicking up. It's kind of like a false start. Then off you go to the races, and your whole hand, palm, fingers, whatever, has to be completely over a line for the rep to count. So if your palm is touching the back of the line and the athlete kicks down, they have to return to the other 5-foot section behind them and repeat that again. You must walk forward. I don't know who does handstand walks better backwards, but you have to walk forward. And then that's it. A rep is credited when both hands, you have palms. Each 5-foot section is 1 rep. And that's it. So then you go into the scaled option. So I'll leave that for you to read over. If you're going to do the hand release push-ups, then you have the bear walk movement. Then you have from master 65 and press the push press. This is hand release push-up scale 55 off the knees. So everything's there. Like I said, the link's going to be below for this. And here's the scorecard. So you have the workout encapsulated here. These are the different variations for scale: teenager, scale, teens, masters, scale, masters. And here's where you're going to mark. So the athlete's going to do 21 deadlifts. You can mark that off, and then you take a quick look at the clock, and you put the time here, 1:25. And they move to the handstand push-ups. They complete those, and then you come back to the deadlifts. Mark it off. Look at the clock. I guess you could get away with not, if you forget the first couple times, because you know the athlete's going to get, or I guess depending on the fitness of the athlete, they'll get past the first couple most likely. Because this really comes into, if all of a sudden you forget them all and they fail down here in the handstand walk and you forget this time, well, unless it's being recorded, they won't have a tiebreaker score. So you go right through. So again, you get into this section, you feel that they complete the 21 deadlifts, you put the time, and then as they go past 5, 10, 15, 20, the markers on the ground, you just check those off. And at the end, you put their total time, so they completed in 8:25, you put that in there. Now, if they don't make it under the time cap in 9 minutes, what you would do is, let's say they finish here at the 40-foot line. So they complete that one, so they didn't get 2 reps, that'd be 144. So you put 144 here for their reps, and then you would go back to here when they finish that last 15-minute hand deadlift. So let's say they did it at, how long would it take you to get there? So maybe 8:20 was the time they finished those deadlifts, and they went through, they got their 40 feet. That's where you put 8:20 here. You click off that it was scaled. You put the affiliate, the judge's name that you took the course, and they sign this and date it. Make sure they look it over before they sign and date it, and then obviously you fill out the bottom part of the card here for them to keep and submit their score. And this is for the coach or the gym owner or the judge to verify online. So that's pretty much the workout. The big thing for judging this would be deadlifts. Well, like I said, I emphasized before, is make sure those hips come through and that their head and their shoulders are behind the bar. That'll be the biggest thing there. Where you're going to have the no reps, it will be the handstand push-ups. So get comfortable with no repping, because especially as the athlete fatigues, you'll get a lot of no reps. If somebody's not very good at handstand push-ups, this will be tough for them, because like I said, you can't have anything but their feet touching the wall. A lot of athletes that are not as good at handstand push-ups, their butt will touch the wall, which will also cause them not to fully be able to extend their legs, which will put them underneath the standard. So have the athlete kick up and do a couple of these beforehand so you can see that they can do them properly. Tell them about keeping their butt off the wall, because I think that will be the main judging point of all this. The handstand walks, you just have to be on the side so you can see that their palm and their hand, both of them, completely went over that line, so they get credit for that section. Not very hard there. And the same thing for the scaled ones, just go through that. But the sticking point for this whole workout will come down to the handstand push-ups. If you want to get a good time in this, that's where you're going to make up your time. Most athletes will be able to fire through that weight for the deadlifts, and handstand push-ups are a little trickier. Anyway, I hope this helped you out. Best of luck for those judging and those competing. Even people that are judging, I'm sure they're going to do this workout as well. I'm not looking forward to do this one. I'll have to modify it again, like I've hurt my Achilles, and to fully go down and do the deadlift from the ground will be tough. So I'll probably modify it, putting my deadlift on maybe a stack of weights, so I don't have to go and flex the Achilles as much. But anyway, like, subscribe, and we'll chat to you later.